Hey, it's Dr. McLean, and oftentimes I have practice members coming into the office. They're getting adjusted on a regular basis. They're doing great. They're feeling great, and all of a sudden they come in one day and they say, "Man, my back is really hurting, or my neck is hurting, or I have these headaches, or I got a cold. I got sick. I don't know what happened. I was just doing great, didn't do anything different. And all of a sudden, this problem showed up. This pain showed up." And so sometimes it's hard to make these connections. Sometimes we just don't know the answer, but you want to think about it in terms of three big categories. That's physical stress, chemical stress, and emotional stress. So often we think about, let's say, back pain, we think about an incident. I worked out too hard, or I lifted something, and that can, again, potentially be the thing, but sometimes it can be something that happened a few days ago or a week ago. And it can be any of those categories. So an emotional stress, and you probably experienced this before. Let's say you go out all day and you rake your yard and you physical work and you're tired and sore at the end of the day, but when you're done, you're done. But versus an emotional stress, if you ever had this big emotional stress, it's a job stress or financial stress or a family stress that's maybe carrying on for days and days and days, you get totally wiped out, right? And because when you go to sleep, that's still in your mind going over and over and over. So these emotional stresses can affect our nervous system and create these subluxations in many different ways. So even just from a physical level, when we're emotionally stressed, our body tenses up. It produces these stress hormones, and all these things can cause the spine, again, to shift out of alignment. It could simply be you're working on a particular project, sitting at the computer. So oftentimes I ask people, hey, is anything different in the last day or two or the last week? Different emotional stresses? Did you eat differently, eat something that you don't normally eat, or did you do something physically? Now, sometimes it could be you sat on the couch in a real funky position or watched a movie for a long time. So often when I ask those questions, people go, "Oh yeah, it was probably this." And again, we don't always know the cause. But if you can ask yourself that question, what have I done differently that might have caused this? It helps jog your memory so that next time when you go in that situation, whether it's emotional stress, again, or physical stress or chemical stress, you can be aware and sometimes make decisions in that moment so it doesn't have that long impacts on your health. So if you think about it this way, if I gave you a backpack and I put 20 pounds in there and you started hiking up the mountain, and then every maybe half a mile I added an extra 20 pounds and another 20 pounds and another 20 pounds, you'll be able to carry that for so long, and then at some point it got to a certain amount of weight. Maybe it's 100 pounds, maybe it's 150 pounds. Whatever that amount was, at some point your body's going to not be able to handle it. It's going to be too much and it's going to break down. So if we think about physical, chemical, and emotional stress in the same way, that every single day we're going to have these things. We can't avoid these things. And they're not all bad, right? You do physical stress, lifting weights, that makes your muscles stronger. Right now people are really afraid of germs. But if you don't expose yourself to germs at all, you're not going to build up your immune system. So these stresses aren't all bad, but we want to be conscious of those, and we want to do things to build up our resistance, right? Somebody that's physically bigger and physically stronger can carry more weight. Now, we don't have to be big physically strong, but the healthier that we eat, the better our spine and nervous system is, the more emotionally de-stressed that we are. If we do things to put things in as far as building our resistance up, we're less likely to break down. Again, that backpack example. When I say break down, when those things get too high, we break down with heart disease or cancer or diabetes or back pain or neck pain. So think about decreasing those stresses coming into your life and increasing your resistance through chiropractic, healthy eating, emotional decisions.